Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the internet. Axel here, and we are back with Katawa Shoujo. It's been a while. We finally got to Act 3, and I actually want to see if I can actually finish this game. Probably not. Probably will. Probably not in the next hour. I think Act 3 is a little bit shorter, not 100% sure. But if it is a little bit shorter than the other ones, we might be able to finish by now, in a few minutes. I don't know. So let's just load. I need to remember which one which one has the longest running time. I believe it's this one. So because after Act 3 just started, you saw the intro to Act 3 and last time. So let's get it started in 3, 2, 1. My head's in a spin all through Matao's class. I'm going to have dinner with Emmy, who wants to be my girlfriend, no less. A date. And then she kissed me. That kiss. I keep going back to it, playing it over in my mind again and again. Everything about that moment felt so right. My mind drifts off, lost in thoughts of Emmy. Nakai? Hello? It seems like I've drifted a bit too far. Huh? What? Egad! You've contracted some kind of amnesia. Someone get the nurse. The class chuckles at Matao's antics. Sorry, sir. Won't happen again at all that. And all that, right? Exactly. Matao brightens considerably. Well, lovely to hear. I'd hate to have my star pupil slacking off after all. I've been doing well, but I hardly qualify as a star pupil, I think. Pupil. Man, I can say that word wrong so well. I'm fairly certain that this class is the sort that always does that everyone does well in. It's just memorizing formulas. True to my word, I managed to pay attention for the rest of the class. Nakai, may I have a word with you? Dang it, spacebar doesn't work still. I wonder if I'm in trouble for earlier? Sure. Am I in trouble? Matao looks genuinely confused for a moment. Beg your pardon? He tilts his head to one side and thinks for a moment. Oh, that. No, you're not in any sort of trouble. It's just a question I want to ask you. What's that? Nothing terrible. I was just wondering what your plans for after graduation are. Are you going to university? Yeah, I guess. I can't really see a reason not to go. Given any thought to what you'll study? Not really, no. I figure I'll come up with something when I get there. Matao laughs. Taking things as they come, eh? I'd argue against it, but that's how I did things when I went to university. Well, not really. I knew I'd go into science. I just wasn't sure which one. Ended up with physics, but could just as well have gone for astronomy or what have you. Actually, I did go for chemistry once, but there were all sorts of things. Matao trails off and frowns slightly. It takes a minute for him to recover his train of thought, and I wait patiently for him to continue. So anyway, I did a lot of physics as well because I had an interest in it, but I wasn't sure if it was for me. So I went back to chemistry, and here we are. Yes? He smiles at me enthusiastically, as if waiting for me to confirm that yes, here's where we are. Somehow I get the feeling that Matao had a plan for this conversation, but I'll be damned if I can figure it out. I'm sorry, I'm not following you. Matao frowns and rubs his chin a bit, looking perplexed. He then snaps his fingers as if he's remembered what the plan of all of this was. Right, yes, you. Me? Yes, you should look into studying one of the sciences. You're fantastic at it. Unless you'd rather just go into math. Matao makes a sour face. Not a big fan of straight math. I always like the experiments more than the proofs. Thank you! I hate proofs! I love math, but when proofs came into play, I freaking hated my class. Ah! You're saying I should study science at university? Mattel seems thrown off balance by my question. Well, sort of. You could also join the science club. The trouble is, there's not actually a science club. But there could be. You could even be a charter member. A founding father. Of course, you need to find other members. Well, only if you wanted to. We could just start up with the two of us. And, I could give you things to read if we could talk about them. And I could help you get ready for university and such as well. Wait! Mattel rummages around in his briefcase and tosses me a book. Read that. If it's interesting, then we can talk about it. A brief history of time? I don't know if I actually want to read this, but Mattel seems pretty excited about it. What's it about? Time, space, space-time, black holes and such. And it's not that dense. Just to see if that sort of thing interests for you. Is things interesting for you, you understand? Hang around after class and we can either discuss it or I can show you how to make explosives in the lab. That's exactly why I liked chemistry class in high school. We got to see blowing up, man, blowing up. He raised a hand at my quizzical expression. Joking, sorry. Still, I've kept you here long enough for now. Think about science as a career path, Nakai. Nakai. I think you'd enjoy it. Okay, I will. Thank you for the book. I leave the classroom and look up at the clock. Quite a chunk of time to kill until Emmy's little practice. Guess I'll give this book a look. See what you did there. I should probably shower as well. Showering before a date's only proper, right? I head back to the dorms. I wonder where I'm supposed to meet Emmy anyway. She said after practice, but she didn't say where I should find her. I guess I could just swing by the track. That's probably best anyway. If she needs a shower, I can just wait for her in her room or something. Or in the hallway, I guess. That would be better as well. I take a quick shower, remembering that to take my medicine once I hop out. Now, for a look at this book. I wake with a start. Bleep! What time is it? A glance at the clock reveals that I had been asleep for nearly an hour. Oh, thank goodness. Emmy's practice should be finishing up soon. Dude, that sucks if you fall asleep reading I fall asleep also reading books, so that's why I never got really into English class and reading and all that stuff. And let's just say that happened to me often. But to do that before a date, ooh, that's gonna be bad. I throw on some casual clothes and head for the track. Somehow I get the feeling we won't be doing anything fancy for dinner. Emmy doesn't strike me as a very fancy sort of person. Still, I suppose there's a lot I have yet to know about Emmy. Despite our newfound closeness, I still feel like I don't know her as well as I should. Ah, well, I have lots of time to fix that. To be honest, I'm looking forward to getting to know her more. I'm so caught up in my own thoughts that I hardly registered that I'm already at the track. Emmy is nowhere to be found. I don't even see any signs of the track team. This could be embarrassing. I turn to head towards the girls' dormitory when I hear a shout. Hey, Saul! Oh my gosh! It's adorable. I turn around to see Emmy making a beeline for me with a gym bag slung over her shoulder. She's changed into some more casual clothing, a pair of shorts, and an olive green top. Her running blades have been replaced by more realistic looking legs that probably wouldn't fool anyone. Emmy doesn't seem to care about that, a fact which makes me smile.
Hey, you came! I mean, I figured you would, but still.
I suddenly find myself wrapped in a rather affectionate hug, and it proves to be impossible for me to keep what must be the world's largest grin off my face. Well, of course I came.
Of course.
I'd be crazy not to, right? Emmy ponders for a moment.
You know, that's true. I mean, I'm pretty amazing after all. Wink, wink.
I shrug in response. I certainly think so. It's an offhand remark, which is why I'm surprised to see that it seems to have caught Emmy by surprise. She blushes and smiles warmly at me before planting a kiss on my lips. Now it's my turn to be surprised. Emmy steps back, resting her weight on her back heel, looking pleased with herself. My brain fumbles for an appropriate response. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I should compliment you more often. Emmy laughs and gives me a playful shove.
Jerk.
I throw an arm around Emmy's shoulders and am pleased when she immediately leans into me as if it were the most natural thing in the world. So, where to?
I'm not actually sure. Where do people go on dates around here anyway?
That's a damn good question. I've got no idea. Why don't we just head down to the Oramar and grab something portable? Emmy's face brightens at this idea.
A picnic? I think you're onto something, Hisao.
Emmy slinks her arm around my waist and we begin to head for the front gate. I'm entirely unsure of what I meant to do in this situation, but at least Emmy seems to be equally clueless. Despite the relaxing feeling of being with Emmy, I still can't help feeling a little tense. Well, it is kinda your first date anyway. What if I do something wrong? I'd hate to make an ass out of myself. The trip to the Oramar is accompanied by Emmy's chatter about how practice went. I keep quiet for the most part, merely enjoying the warmth of being around Emmy. Hey look, Oramar. We get a few odd looks from passerby, but I don't mind. We wind up buying some bread and instant noodles, realizing too late that we cannot actually cook the latter in the park. Yeah.
Oh well, I'll make it for lunch or something.
That'll work. The park is located after a brief loss of direction that I blame entirely on Emmy. She, of course, blames me. We find a spot beneath a tree and sit down. I lean back against the trunk. Emmy sits across from me. I guess we should have brought a blanket or something to sit on, huh? Emmy shrugs.
I don't mind.
Neither do I. Emmy tosses me a package of bread and we dig in. Curry bread and interesting. I guess I wasn't really paying attention to what I grabbed in the store.
Hey, Hisao, you look like your bread's a little spicy.
I shake my head, trying in vain to keep an image of manliness. Nah, it's hardly spicy at all.
I see. That must be why your face has gotten so red.
Yes, exactly. The lack of spice has gotten my blood up. Because of the disappointment. Emmy laughs and swallows the last of her bread.
Well, if you can't handle it, I'll be glad to take it off your hands.
Hey, just because you wolfed down yours so quickly doesn't mean I'm just going to give you mine. Emmy mock pouts, causing me to nearly choke on my bread with laughter.
Pouty face. Ah, come on, Hisao. Aren't you supposed to be concerned with making sure I've got enough to eat now? We're dating, you know. Though,
Emmy looks troubled all of a sudden.
I can't say I feel any different.
What do you mean by that?
What makes this a date? It's just what we would have done anyway, really. This should feel different because before, when we had lunch, we were friends, and now we're a level above friends.
You sound like Ren. Laughter escapes and Emmy grins. Yeah, pretty much. She's like talking a little bit like Rin.
Well, he might have put the thought into... She might have put the thought into my mind. We talked about that sort of thing before.
Really? About me?
Not really, just stuff, really. Rin thinks that the change of label from friend to girlfriend seems arbitrary most of the time. Like there's no difference between the two.
I could think of at least one, you know. You don't tend to kiss your friend quite as much. For the second time today, Abby blushes slightly and giggles.
I suppose you're right.
Exactly. I'm always right about things like this. Abby rolls her eyes and chuckles.
Guess you're pretty smart, huh?
I nod in agreement. Yep. Even Mitao thinks so. He thinks I should go into some scientific study after graduation. Abby raises his eyebrow.
Oh, really?
My voice cracked. I left.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm thinking of I actually might do just that. Really, the more I consider the idea, the more it appeals to me. I make a mental note to look into it a little more closely. So what are you thinking of doing after graduation? Still planning on running? Amy shrugs, seeming almost a bit hesitant.
I don't know. If I'm good enough, I can find a team, I guess.
You mean you aren't sure?
I haven't really thought about it, to be honest.
Really? You probably should, you know. Graduation isn't that far off. Amy fidgets a little nervously.
Yeah, well, it's far enough, right? Besides, I've got other things to think about.
There's a mischievous flash between Emmy's eyes, and I suddenly find myself gloriously pinned against the tree.
Like, making sure this is a real date, right? I mean, if we don't kiss, then it's not a date after all, right?
I suppose so. Strawberries or curry. Not the best combination, but I don't think I mind. Emmy sits back on my legs and grins again.
There. Science would approve, right?
I have the oddest mental image of a towel nodding seriously and making a mark on some checklist. Like a spirit Mattel's in the background. He's just like, hey, so good job, check mark. I can't help laughing at the idea. I don't think anyone would stop laughing thinking about that.
Well, I admit, it's the first time I've ever witnessed a kiss met with laughter before. Should I feel offended?
No. I'm sure science approves. Science rules. Bill Nye approves. Emmy beams at me, and I find it increasingly difficult to keep my brain functioning properly.
Oh, good.
It is at this point I notice that Emmy has stolen the remainder of my Curie Red while I was otherwise occupied with the image of teachers wielding clipboards. Hey! Emmy tries to look innocent, but considering she's just crammed the last bits of my bread into her mouth, it does not appear to be working.
Furry couldn't resist.
Thief! A shrug from my companion is all I get in response. You used your feminine wiles on me. I wasn't that hungry anyway, but I still feel that the point needs to be made. Abby seems confused by the phrase feminine wiles, but the understanding dawns on her features after a moment's thought.
Wasn't anything of the sort. You were laughing. Feminine wiles doesn't involve laughing.
I guess I can't argue with that. That doesn't change your thievery. Emmy laughs at my injured tone and gives me a playful shove.
Fine, you can have the instant noodles.
Are you kidding? That stuff's terrible. If anything, you should definitely eat it as punishment. After another laugh from a girl sitting on my lap, both of which have fallen asleep by now. I twitch one leg to try waking it up, which has the unintended effect of unbalancing Emmy, which falls to the side with the sound of beep. Yep. Whoops, sorry about that. Legs fall asleep Legs fall asleep on me. Emmy remains on the ground, giggling. I stand up a little shakily, feeling the nerves in my legs return to normal. My eyes wander over the scenery before fixing on the figure of Emmy, who has yet to get up. Her hair is splayed. Is that a word? I gotta look that up later. Splayed. Out around her head. I thought it was sprayed, but splayed. Her arms are spread and laughter is bubbling up through her mouth. Everything about Emmy seems condensed into this one image. Her energy, her spirit, her childish giggling. The urge to lay down on the grass with her rises swiftly from the back of my mind to the forefront of my thoughts, and indeed I am convinced that I would love nothing more than to do just that. Unfortunately, the sun has set, and it's probably time for us to get back to the dormitories. While Emmy might be happy to stay out here all night, I don't think I have that ability. Besides, homework soon beckons. The homework is coming, the homework is coming. It wouldn't make sense to start thinking about things like university and then slack off, would it? I extend a hand to Emmy to help her up. We should probably get going. Emmy makes a sour face.
You're right.
She grabs my shouldn't be pre-offered hand? Whatever. And I pulled her to her feet into a hug. This time I'm the one who kisses her, unable to resist having Emmy against me. Seems a shame to leave, you know.
Yeah, it does. But if we don't get back to school soon, we'll probably get into trouble.
And he pokes me in the ribs playfully.
And you need to do your homework, I'm sure.
Sadly, you're absolutely right. I throw my arm around her shoulders, and we make a trek back to the school, accompanied by occasional bouts of laughter as our conversation jumps from subject to subject. Everything from running to school to the peculiar way that one of the cafeteria workers smells.